Welcome to another video. I'm Amoni Pinala, and today we are talking about the Exploration Career Agent missions and exploration in general. Now, we're going to get more in depth once we're outside of these career agent missions. It's kind of hard to demonstrate all of the aspects of exploration inside the career agent missions because they don't look like what the sites that you'll be making all that money off of will look like. So the thing about exploration is that it is accessible to players right away, and it is a great way to start making money. I highly recommend that if you are just starting out, you give exploration a try. Exploration career agent missions don't explain exploration very well, unfortunately, and so I'm going to try and break it down for you. You are going to need a core or expanded probe launcher, and you're going to need at least 8 core probes, but 16 is better. And I say 16 is better not because you get better scanning or anything like that, but when you're reloading your core probes, if you have 16, that means that your core probe launcher will automatically reload. In the footage here, I only have 8 because that's what the career agent gave me, was 8. So, sometimes we suffer because we desire, as the Buddha teaches us. So what we're going to do is we're going to load the probes into the probe launcher, and it's just like putting ammo in a gun, right? And then we can launch them just like shooting a gun, right? You press the module, the probes pop out. Hooray! Now we want to open the probe scanner window, and the probe scanner window can be found. It's on that little thing. It looks like a Wi-Fi symbol or a radar symbol. Go ahead and click that, and then we want the probe scanner window. So when you hover over, it'll explain which scanner each of those are. Once we have the probe scanner window open, it is going to give us both the probe scanner window and the system map. Now, we need both, but for me personally, I don't like both of those things at once. I like to have the probe scanner window out at all times, and as you can see in this, I made room for it. I removed it from its spot in the system map, and then dragged it over to the side so that it's always with. Now the system map, once you have your probe scanner window open and set up the way you want it, you've got your probes out, you're going to see what looks like a bunch of little circles, right? Those represent the scan area of each of your 8 probes. Now we can adjust the distance that the probes are scanning from by moving the little arrows, right? So we can move them, we can to move them around on the map, and then we can change the distance that these probes are out. We can change them from, say, 0.5 to 1 AU to 2 AU, 4 AU, 8 AU, 16 AU, and 32 AU, I believe. So we are going to want to stick with 8 AU, and then we will go down to 2 AU to make it easier on ourselves once we've done a wide scan. Now the reason this works is that the signatures that we're scanning, these cosmic signatures, which show up as little red dots on the map that you can see, they always spawn within a certain distance of celestial bodies, namely planets, right? So if we set our probe radius to 8 AU, and then we move our probes to different planets, we can get a good solid scan, or at least a start of one. Now, as you scan, you're going to be narrowing the search range for these signatures, right? So they'll just start out as red dots. Eventually they become orange, and they might start showing you a little symbol that tells you what kind of signature it is. And then once you fully scanned it down, it turns green. And when it's green, you can warp to it. Now, We use the 2AU to try and get that from partially scanned, say 1, 10, 15% down to 100%. When you are just starting out and your skills are really low, you may need to go from 8AU to 4AU to 2AU and then maybe to 1AU or even smaller, right? That's okay when you're just getting started. Once you have your skills trained up some more, you definitely want to get used to practicing using 8AU and 2AU. It's also important to remember that although the system map looks like a 2D map, right, it is actually 3D. And when you hold your right click mouse button, you can actually change the angle at which your camera is viewing. Sometimes signatures are plus or minus on the z-axis, so they might be a little bit above the plane or below the main plane that the map is on. So just be aware of that. If this all feels a little overwhelming to you, that's okay. It's very hard to show this one if you don't already know what you're doing. It's hard to show it with the career agent mission because the career agent mission is specifically designed to make this very easy and not necessarily representative of what exploration looks like once you get out there in the rest of New Eden. We will be going over this more once we get out of the career agent missions, right? We'll talk about how to make money and all that good stuff. Now, there are 4 basic types of cosmic signatures that you can scan down. There are combat sites, which you shoot rats for ISK, right? Shoot the baddies for ISK, much like we've been doing for the Enforcer and Soldier of Fortune missions, right? Then there is data sites, right? Hack the planet, right? Become Neo in the Matrix. Then there's relic sites, right? You get to be Indiana Jones and steal old abandoned artifacts. Then there are gas sites, and gas sites are a little different. You gotta have special equipment to get that gas. But once you do, you can make drugs and fancy ships with the gas. So, or at least parts for fancy ships. When you are just getting started, you're really going to be focusing on the data and relic sites, but not all of them are safe to warp to. There is a guide, courtesy of Signal Cartel, to determine which sites are safe to warp to. I have linked this in the class notes. So check the description. I have a link to the class notes. It's episode 3. Just check it out there. Signal Cartel, by the way, is a corporation dedicated to exploration. They do a ton of cool stuff related to exploration, and that includes things like search and rescue. They set up caches all over wormhole space. Yes, there are wormholes in this game, and they're very fun. All kinds of good stuff like that. Signal Cartel is a new player-friendly corporation, and it is also one of the new player corporations that I would recommend to you if you are looking for a corporation to join as a new player. I put the link in my character's bio. You can check that out. Once you've found a data or relic site, you warp to it, and you want to make sure that when you warp to it, you have the correct analyzer fit to your ship. There's a data analyzer and a relic analyzer, and nothing's more frustrating than getting to a relic site and realizing you have a data analyzer and forgot the relic one elsewhere. That's always a bummer. Once you've trained up your skills enough, you will eventually be able to use a special analyzer that can do both data and relic sites, but it will cost. Once you've warped to the site, you can lock on to one of the structures that has a little box icon at its center, and instead of shooting it with guns, we're going to activate the relic or the data analyzer as appropriate. And as soon as we activate the analyzer, it's going to bring up the hacking minigame. Now, the hacking minigame is a basic point-and-click puzzle. Click one of the little circles called nodes, and it will review one of a few things. It might reveal an empty node. It could reveal a node with a virus, firewall, or other malicious program that will make hacking harder. It could also have a little tool that will help us clear the hack. And it could also contain the system core. We will cover hacking more in depth once we get out of the career agent missions, but I wanted to give you a sense of what this looks like, and maybe you get it. Maybe it clicks for you, and you can go out and do some exploring right now. If that's you, great, because it is a very easy way to make some money, and it gives you an opportunity to see all kinds of really cool, fun, and exciting things. That is all I have for the exploration missions. If you have questions, go ahead and leave them as a comment on the video. If you like this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and share it with your friends. Also, be sure to check out the class notes if you want a refresher or you want to go over anything that was discussed in the video. Until next time, fly dangerously, folks.